All right, we're shooting this shit. First rule of entrepreneurship is use what you got. I got an iPhone, I got a camera. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. So with that being said, imagine this. Imagine you're baking a cake. You're in the kitchen and you have the recipe, let's say Martha Stew's recipe for the best cake in the world. The absolute best. Now, the recipe says 2 eggs, gallon of milk, sugar, salt, wheat, whatever recipe there is for cake. And you're like, all right, cool. I'm gonna follow this recipe for cake. You put all the ingredients together and it says, cook in the oven for 30 minutes at 200 degrees. You follow the recipe and the outcome is a pretty all right cake. It might have been your first time that you made this cake, that you followed this recipe. Therefore, you might have gotten a desired outcome, but not a perfect outcome. So you keep at it. You keep at it until you get really, really good at following this one cake recipe, which will give you a certain cake. At some point, you have a family dinner. Everyone's coming over and you're serving them your cakes after dinner and they all enjoy it. They give you a huge ego boost and they're all like, Jorgen, Adam, great fucking cake. You did an amazing job on this cake. What did you do? Well, I followed Martha Stewart's recipe. Pretty simple, right? And they're like, all right, cool. This happens a couple of times over and over again. And you get this massive influx of ego, which in return makes you think, hey, maybe I don't even need the recipe anymore. Maybe I can do my own shit. So you start mixing and tricks. You start saying, hey, maybe I'll take less sugar. Maybe I'll do more salt. Maybe less milk. Maybe let's do soy milk instead. Who the fuck even drinks soy milk? Point is, you change the recipe. At some point, you're like, hey, I've done this cake so many times. I don't got time for this shit. I gotta make the dinner as well. So you put the cake in the microwave at 1,000 degrees for 5 minutes, because mathematically, that's the same as 200 degrees for 30 minutes in the oven. What happens? You get your guests over, you serve them dinner was okay, and here comes the cake. It's all burnt. Why is that? Everyone asks you, hey, why is your cake burnt? You didn't follow the recipe. Now, whether you get this analogy or not, you should, as it is a pretty damn simple analogy. The point I'm trying to make it, life is no different than the recipe of cake. We're all out here trying to achieve, trying to do our absolute best in whatever field it is. If you're trying to become a high performance athlete, if you're trying to be the best trader there ever was, or if you're trying to build a business, we all have the recipes in set different areas. There's already people who's done it before us, right? We have LeBron James, we have all of these people. Now, the question you gotta ask yourself is, why are you not following the recipe? Why are you changing the recipe when it's already there, right? When you're on a winning spree, if you're trading, and then all of a sudden your ego gets a massive influx. Why do you all of a sudden now change up your trading plan? Whereas you take setups that weren't even following the plan in the first place. Why in your fitness, after a 90-day transformation, when you got all jacked and shit, you go back to your old eating habits because you think, hey, now I'm all jacked and shit. I don't need to do my fitness anymore. I don't need to eat strict anymore. It's not how the world works. It's not how the world works. If you have a recipe for success, why would you change it? 1 + 1 always, and I mean always, equals 2. And with that being said, if you don't tell people the truth, you don't really love them, right? Love ain't lies. It's a great quote from Wes Watson. And it really states the truth from this too. Be real with yourself, but more importantly, be real with those who are close to you. If you know that a family member is struggling with their fitness, with their weight, give them tips, give them advice, help them out. If you know that your friend is breaching his trading plan over and over and over again, tell him as it is. Because telling lies and justifying the behavior that got them there in the first place is the biggest disservice that you can absolutely do towards someone. That's not self-sabotage, but you're subliminally sabotaging someone else's life because you're scared of what your opinion may matter to them. Say it as it is, loving lies. So follow, next time you're going in the kitchen to bake a cake, whether that cake is in fitness, in trading, or business, you better follow that recipe and do your absolute and utter best.